Go ahead, let everybody in.
There's a guest also. Okay, they're coming in.
And somebody find,
Yeah. Here he is, Galaxy S25. Galaxy S25 FE.
Well, we have 63 people today. Okay.
You see Randy, John?
I don't see him. Oh, yeah, I see him. Yeah, I see him.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
There, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Great.
Ooh,
Jan, can you control the mute of everybody?
I will try.
I'm on two different ways, so I might be able to
You-
do that.
You are on two different ways.
Yeah.
You don't get 2 votes though.
All right.
Well, Randy, I'm going to then wait and let you unmute people so we're not both doing it and counteracting each other.
Okay. Sounds good.
It's Tracy.
Okay, okay. All right.
Yeah,
So
I can be a co-host and let people in and out and stuff like that.
Okay.
okay. So apologies for delay. Hammond North is July 8th at 6:07 p.m. So first order of business would be the call to order. Roll call. Gil Patton,
Here.
Jan Welch,
Here.
Chris Conti,
Here.
Randy Vaughn,
Here.
Tim Fritz,
Here.
Tracy Smiley.
Here.
Okay, so first announcements, chat features again will be disabled. Owners' questions will be allowed, and we hope that it'll be limited to 2 question statements on the matter that we're talking about. So the first order of business would be the minutes. Randy?
Yeah, I sent out 2 sets of minutes, but I'm only going to ask for approval of the June 24th minutes. The other minutes are being revised. So the June 24th meetings are sent. I asked for approval of those.
I second.
Tim seconds it. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor of the June 24th minutes? Okay, that's unanimous. Okay, 7-0. Okay, the next order of business I have would be the invoices. Tracy?
Yes, so I want to make a motion to approve invoice 51385 for Seaward in the amount of $5,832.74.
This is for Finney, right?
Yes, Finney. Sorry, yes, for Finney.
It's okay.
Tracy, can you just do them all and we can have one motion?
Any objections to doing them all as one motion?
No,
I
just read
object.
through them all so people hear them.
Gil?
I think we should hold this off and do it at a regular meeting, not at special meeting. There's no reason to do it at a special meeting. We should pay all of our bills at the regular meetings. It's personally with the holidays, I think I still need time to look through these. Some of these are incredibly high.
Tracy?
So no, I was gonna say with the back and forth with the invoices were for work that was performed in May. There were some things that I need to talk to Finney about. So we did receive the invoices June 15th, which is why I wanted to go ahead and pay them this go around. So I know there, Gil, you had some concerns with, our payment coming in late, and then it shows that we have a balance when we don't. So I was trying to make this as clean as possible. So once we button up all the, or at least some concerns that I had and they were addressed, that we would move forward. But if it's consensus with the board that we don't and we hold off the next meeting, we believe maybe in 2 weeks. I think that's a little late, but what does everyone think?
I'm fine going ahead, but if there's one that's of concern,
I think
There
if
aren't
you,
any concerns.
I think if you clean them up and they're from May, we should pay them.
I'd note that we originally got these bills on June 22nd, so I think all the board members have had them for 2.5 weeks.
Yes. All right. I will move forward with making a holistic motion, but I will read them separately. So I make a motion to pay the Finney invoices, invoice number 513A5 for Seaward in the amount of $5,382.40. Invoice number 51386 for Burnham in the amount of $2,319.50. Invoice number 51392 for General Corp in the amount of $1,978. Invoice number 51393 for Partition in the amount of $21,799.93. And invoice number 51394 for Porter in the amount of $290. The total motion is $32,220.17.
Is there a second? Chris seconds it. Discussion?
So on Seaward, we're $5,800. We paid over 2,000 last month, I believe. Does that seem reasonable? Have you looked through, has anybody looked through that, the description on that? Does that make sense?
Yes, I have. I don't know about everyone else, but I have read through it. Has anyone else got a chance to look through it?
I didn't look through that one. I looked through the big one, the partition action. Look at that one, why that one was so high, but not the other ones. In
So-
general, all these bills on any of the legal bills we've had from any lawyers are fairly detailed. They describe who is being talked to, the amount of time, the rate of pay, the activities. I can't speak to Seaward though.
It's similar. So all the details are listed for Seaward. Last time we talked about the filing for the dismissal. This time, all of that is completed. So if you go through that document, all the correspondence are listed.
Randy?
And this should be the last. Oop,
Randy, sorry.
you're
We
muted.
got to unmute you.
Oh.
Okay,
Okay,
you're,
Randy.
All right. Yeah, I know. I thought the motion to dismiss in August, or I think that the bill has been split in half. The previous bill was part of it. This is the rest of it, I think.
yes, if
Seaward?
you go.
Yes, this is the one where we're moving to dismiss along with other parties to be dismissed from this lawsuit. Any other discussion?
Well, if you look at the invoice for last month and you look at the invoice that we're talking about pay now, there are items that say the same thing. They're talking to the same people.
So the one
And-
last month was $102.50. The one this month is the $5,832.74. So this is the full breadth of the dismissal. The other one again was $102. So this is the review of the motion, finalizing the motion to dismiss, connecting with Landmark, connecting with other individuals that I can't really name all of them on here. And then all the correspondence associated with the dismissal and the clerk's email reviews.
Tracy, there was another invoice last month. There was the 102, and then maybe that was the month prior that we went ahead and paid for $2,000 some dollars. It just seems like a lot. And the same thing, John, you say you've looked at the partition? I mean,
Yes.
that is a lot of money. What did they file and do last month that created such a
I mean, it's complicated. One, we have 180 defendants or plaintiffs, and there's ins and outs of each one of them. Two is there are also about 40 to 50 mortgage companies. She was filing in discussions with those mortgage companies. A third one was that there was a meeting that we wanted them to look at coordinating a phone call with Chris Finney and Julie, talking about the coordination of the sale, the PSA with Mike Stacy, and the petition action. So those are some of the journal items. They all made sense to me. It's expensive, but this is regretfully in line with the amount of money we've had to spend on other months for the petition action.
Yeah, I don't know about everybody else, but we got a document in the mail that I think went out to everybody at Hammond North and all the mortgage companies. This was a massive month in terms of activity on the partition agreement.
Right.
Let me say that one of the owners actually asked the same question about document they got. I asked her to send me a picture of the front page and the back page who sent it. And we've talked previously months ago with Julie about this. And apparently this usually is related to the mortgage companies. They don't have to file with each one of the defendants or the plaintiffs. I'm not sure which in these cases, but some banks want to do that and they mail the mailing. I don't believe those mailings were from Finney as far as I know.
There's
There were some legal companies.
Right.
Yeah, it's usually the lawyers for the banks. Any other discussion? Yep, Tracy?
Nope, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask if we just call the question if there's no other.
Yeah, the only thing I want to add is that this doggone petition thing is gonna cost us a lot of money every month. So I don't know. Somehow we got to get through this. And then the other thing we've got to do is we've got to somehow get through this Seaward thing, because this Seaward thing has dragged on for too long.
And that has a trial or a hearing date. I should say a hearing date in August, right?
I believe that's right.
Yes.
I believe it was August 19th, I think.
Yeah, for dismissal.
I don't think there's really any cost until that happens, that hearing.
That's not necessarily true.
We won't know until we hear.
Right.
All right. Like to call the question then. All those in favor of paying the Finney bills, raise their hand. And anybody opposed? Or opposed? Okay, 6-1. Okay, next item of business would be that the emergency fire alarm repair, which is related to many of it's very strange one calls we've been getting for the last few days. And Tim?
Yeah, basically, what has transpired is that there was a severe electrical storm on Saturday night, and there was a lightning strike somewhere near the building, and that lightning strike affected our security system, our emergency fire alarm system. Basically, what it did was it fried 5 components in the fire alarm system: the motherboard, a power supply, a keyboard, and 2 batteries were fried as a result of this lightning strike. So Greg got it fixed under an emergency repair order, because we were afraid that if the city would be concerned that we had a fire alarm system that wasn't operable, they might impose some restriction on us. So Greg responded quickly and got it fixed. The total bill that we have so far is not so far. The total bill that we have is $9,411.77. That included the replacement of the components that were damaged and some troubleshooting time to make sure that all the other components in the system were operating correctly. We have asked, Gil asked Greg to see if there's anything we can do to protect the system further. They have agreed to install some additional surge suppressors. They're not sure that they will be effective, but they're trying to do whatever they can do to protect our system so that this doesn't happen again.
All right, thanks. Sorry.
The full explanation of the job is available if anybody wants to see it. We can make that available to you.
Thanks, Tim. Any questions of the board members? Any questions from owners? Raise your electronic hand. Okay, then we'll move ahead to the next item on the business. Actually, Gil, you want to do a summary of the PSA?
Yeah, I just spoke to Mike Stacy earlier today. He has put things together with the title company, so evidently they're ready to start working on the titles. So I don't know, Jan, if you want to give them a call and see what that means for you or not, if it's the timing's right. But he said they're ready to go.
Yeah, I communicated with Rob Calabrese today, and he said the same thing. So we're going to be talking about that a little bit more, and then we'll be getting in touch with the floor captains probably next week, because he's just working on one component of it right now, he said. So we need to look at a couple things and make a decision.
The other thing I was going to say is Mike told me that all the drawings have been redone from our architect, and those will be submitted to the city either later this week or early next week. So based on what was said in the meeting when Tim and I were with Mike downtown, about 10 days after that, we should know whether or not he's going to get the permits. That's a huge hurdle.
Yeah.
That's great.
So we keep moving down that path. He told me that they found all of the fire equipment. There was some discussion about where that was in the building, and they found all of that. I think it's in unit. I can't remember which unit, but anyway, they found it. Probably still, there's 3 pallets up there. They need to go through it and identify that it's all there. He did tell me that it was all identified by unit number, so that's helpful as well.
Great.
And that's
Chris?
what I have on the PSA at this time.
Okay. Any update on Mike's financing?
Still working on it. They said it might take the full 90 days to get it all put in place. One of the big things I know they're waiting for is to see that appraisal that's being done right now by Colliers. And I was going to ask that question to Tim, if he's heard anything.
I got a response from Julie the other day. They anticipate being complete by the end of this week.
I'll let Mike know. Thank you.
Any other board questions? Tracy?
Gil, I thought maybe you mentioned this before. I can't remember. Did you say that they would be willing to use the Colliers, or did the lender walk through to try to do their own appraisal? I think they maybe walked through once or twice to see what they believe the value to be.
We had walkthrough, but those aren't appraisers. There's some decision makers. But as far as I know, having the appraisal from Colliers, which was going through the court and not through us directly, would carry some weight and may allow them to use that appraisal rather than going out and starting the whole process over. But until we get that and they take a look at it, we don't know. Mike doesn't know.
And that's
He
one,
believes it's going to shorten the time plan, the time frame.
and that's one of the things that Julie has stressed all along is that, you know, this is good that we get this appraisal. Colliers is recognized by the court to do the appraisal, but there are other people who may request appraisals at later times. So this is a good start.
Yeah, I think if we had, like we did earlier with Colliers, went out and got the appraisal and tried to present it, the banks may have an issue with that because, you know, we hired them and they're working for us. We're paying the bill, but now for the second one, but the court's the one who's ordered it. So my guess is that whoever his lenders are will look at that differently.
Right. And I
So if
know
we get
the
it by
original was
Friday, that
somewhere
should
around,
help. Go
yeah, I
ahead.
know the original was somewhere around 9.8. So I'm fingers crossed that, you know, with the amount of the PSA and what it comes in at is, you know, not too variable for what we're looking for the purchase.
I'll follow up.
Exactly.
I'll follow up with Julie tomorrow and remind her that they told us they'd have it by the end of the week.
Because there will be some like loan of value calculation in there as well. So fingers crossed that it's you know, somewhat higher.
That would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly Tim put together a lot of work that shows it should be higher.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Okay, Patty, you had a comment or question?
Question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Does Mike have everything he needs for budgeting purposes for the loans?
We're still working on it. As far as, I don't know anything about loans, but as far as the information he's been looking for, he's still looking for information. He gave me some things that he needs me to work on tomorrow, which I will be working on.
Great. Thank you.
All right, Patty. Let's see if I can unmute Tim Barker.
Yes, question, the Colliers evaluate, what can I get concrete numbers on what those numbers are? You're trying to get this current, what are those numbers? What are those numbers?
There are no numbers yet. That's what they're working on. What has happened is that they did the original valuation in December of
At what? At what?
9.5 million, I think.
Okay,
I think 9.8 million.
10.8.
9.8 million. What we have done since then is we have demonstrated to them the amount of money that we spent. That was December of 2024 that they did that. We put together the invoices and the work that was done in January, February, March, April, and May of 2025. And we submitted that to them for their evaluation to add that on to the $9.8 million. The sum total of what we submitted was somewhere around $7 million that we spent in that time period. We know that we are not going to get $7 million worth of value, but we're hoping to get some significant percentage of that $7 million added on to the $9.8 million.
okay. And the purchase price from Mike Stacy is what?
12.5.
Okay, thank you.
Well,
12 even.
12 million. I'm sorry, 12 million.
Okay. Any other questions from owners? Tim, you put your hand, okay, put it down again. All right, then let's move on. The next issue that I have here would be the air handler. Tim's gonna update us on that.
Yeah, the air handler on the north side had an issue again this week. Greg had to shut it down for a little while. 4-Star was in there today. It is operational. There's some thermostat work that still needs to be done. They basically bypassed the thermostat system, and he said it's actually doing a better job of distributing the air in the system right now. So there's still a little bit of work that needs to be done to fine tune the issue, but the air handler is working and the air is being distributed in the building. So we're back to where we need to be for now.
Any questions, board members or owners?
That's good news. Mike will be happy to hear that. He was very concerned about that.
Yeah, Greg said 4-Star was actually pretty happy with how things are performing right now compared to how it could have gone.
Patty, I think you can unmute yourself.
How much did the repairs on the air handler cost us?
I don't have that bill yet. It was basically a respond to the situation. We will get that bill in the next couple of days.
Any other questions? Okay, move on. Gil?
This wasn't on the agenda either, but the insurance. I wanted to just mention that the D&O insurance is going to change to another company. Have you heard any more from Brian on that?
I haven't. Not since I think we mentioned at the last board meeting, I think it was mentioned. Maybe
Okay,
you just
was that I didn't think we knew that on Wednesday. I thought that happened afterwards, but I know they're getting us enough, just so everybody knows, whoever I noted was going to be the D&O insurer, that's being changed to another company. I was told that it might cost us a couple $1,000s more, which I think takes us from 6 to 8. But we will be covered, or we are covered.
I think you're
I just
right.
need to confirm.
I don't think we knew it on the 1st. That's right. It was after the 1st.
Yeah.
Tracy?
So if it's after the 1st, any additional expenses are there any additional expenses associated with that change? Because we've already moved forward with what we had before.
That's what I was saying. It's going to cost us more, approximately $2,000 more.
$2,000. Okay.
So we're going to go from, I believe it was 6 up to somewhere in the 8 range. And I would have expected to receive something back from him. And I apologize for not contacting him before this meeting to find that out.
That's fine. Get updated next time we get together.
I will do that.
Okay. So no other questions. The next item on the agenda would be the last item is disbursement of insurance proceeds. Tracy?
Yes. So over the last month, I would say we have been talking about the disbursement of landmark insurance funds. There was one call that came out last week before the board meeting that discussed the process. And then during the board meeting, I walked through the high-level estimates of what that payout will look like by unit type, as well as the process around, the payment of taxes, mortgages, and any HOA fees associated with that. And then afterwards, the owners would get the remaining proceeds. So at this point, I would like to make a motion to move forward with the payout of the landmark insurance funds distribution in the amount of the consensus of $11 million to owners, minus any outstanding taxes, mortgages, and unpaid HOA fees.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll
Chris?
second that.
Chris seconds it. Discussion. Randy?
Yeah, Tracy, could we amend that to say that it would not be dispersed until after the July tax bills come out?
Yes, we can amend it to after the July tax bills, so they can definitely look into that.
Actually, I'm pretty sure I got my tax bill. I think the bill's already out. I
It
think
is.
the due date is July 24th. And we talked earlier, we're gonna wait till after we knew if people hadn't paid it, because then that has to come out of the payments. So I don't know how we amend it, except it's clear. We're gonna pay taxes and mortgages and arrears in that order.
So
And
what-
this will give the title company time to start looking at the mortgage and pulling that information, because that will take some time. So once they look at the tax information of what was being paid or not, we'll have a pretty good consensus on what that distribution will look like at that point.
So if the due
Tim?
date is the 24th, we should not initiate this until like August 1st.
Yes.
We can't initiate
So-
the title search, I think is what we can't do. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But that's the whole process here, right? I mean,
No.
this
Well,
is
yes
kind of
and no.
premature.
No.
What are we going to do between now and the start of that?
So now would be in pulling the information of the actual mortgage companies, right? So they're going to have to go through and figure out who has what mortgage, the amounts of that mortgage. And then since the bill already came out, obviously we talked about actually pulling that information as well. If there's any other liens associated with the property, such as any other outstanding taxes. And then after that, we will send the delinquency report over to them as well and kind of draw the line of at this point, we would use that delinquency report and we would use the balance of the mortgage to actually do the distribution. So there's work to be done up front.
Well,
And
it sounds to me
Tracy-
like we need to go to the title agency and find out, A, what the cost is for this, and B, what the timing and what it is that we need to do, is what this process is going to look like. Right now, we're just saying we're going to do something. We don't know what the cost is. We don't know what the real process is. Let's go find all that out and then
We
bring this
do.
back for a vote.
We do. So we had conversations around that. The process, which I reported out on, I want to say 3 weeks ago, was 5 to 6 weeks. The cost was in a range of $18,000 to $30,000 that I shared on a report about 3 weeks ago with this audience.
Yes, you did, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for more direct idea of what that cost will be. I don't want 18 to 30,000. We can go ask them. They will tell us what the timing is, what they're going to do, what the costs are going to be to do that. Bring that back to us, and then let's have a motion and make it go. It's not
I
going to
sent
get paid
that-
out until middle of
I
September anyway.
I
They
sent
can't
that
do a-
out.
They can do a full title search with an effective date 30 days from now. But they can start gathering mortgage payoff data and stuff like that. But I don't know, I don't know the mechanics of how that works. I don't know that they would want to contact the mortgage companies and then have to go back and look at a tax title search. So I sort of agree with Gil. I don't know what we can do between now and the beginning of August.
I did send that out, Gil. So I sent an email out to the entire board of the process, what the fees would be, how many weeks it would take per, what the title search is. So after we met with other individuals, I sent that out and took notes to the entire board.
But if they can't have an effective title search that's effective before August 1st, what can they do?
Well, one, they could reduce in writing what the procedures are going to be, put in writing what the costs are going to be. We can consult also, make sure and Finney make everything in writing, and we can get everything ready to go. If we wait later on it to get all these different moving parts together, then I think it pushes back when we can actually distribute the money. That's my personal view.
I don't disagree with that. We can do a bunch of preparation, but we can't do anything that's final.
Agreed.
Right.
The question is, can we continue? And my sense of the motion is that to finalize this board agrees we're going to do it and that move forward knowing that, but knowing that certain pieces are going to, as time delayed and certain things can happen till July 24th, and some things can be reduced to writing. No more board, Randy?
Got a question.
Was there a second to this motion?
Yes, there was. Chris Conti seconded.
Chris? Okay.
So, I'm going to unmute Tim.
John,
Yes, good.
the other thing that I'm concerned about is with the PSA coming down the road, hopefully closing. If possible, we need to try to coordinate those two things to happen at the same time. So we need to keep that in mind so we can eliminate this $18,000 to $30,000 charge.
Well,
Are you
When you say coordinate, what does that mean?
I don't think we can eliminate it, but what we can do is we can maybe consolidate the final closing with this initial closing.
Well, that would be news to me if we're that close to closing. I think we had, our target was the end of August, beginning of September disbursement. And I didn't think we're anywhere near that close in terms of closing on the PSA.
We'll see.
We don't know what we don't know. With all this going on, I would hate to see us do this disbursement in the middle of September and 1st of October or middle of October have to go right back and do it for the sale. That would be crazy.
Chris?
No, we can't live our lives based on what if or be paralyzed by what might happen.
I think you misconstrued what I'm saying. I am not saying I am. Well, that's interesting. But Chris, what I'm saying is we need to keep it in mind. We need to be careful that we don't put ourselves in that position. I think we're just rushing this a little bit before. I mean, if we want to pass this and say we're going to go down the path, that's fine. I'm in agreement with that. I just don't think, I think we need to be very careful about how we go about this so that we understand what the costs are going to be and what the process is going to be. And when we get a date and we know when it's going to close, we make sure that we're not doing it at the same time or prematurely. That's not the right word, but it's close to the same time that we're going to do a close. If we're going to get to a point where we're going to close, then we need to make sure that we align them so we do them at the same point and have only one charge.
Tracy?
I think Jan was before me.
Okay.
I was just wondering, Gil, if we want to pass something saying we'll go down the path, how would that read?
I'm not sure, Jan.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Because
that's why I'm thinking. Why I think this is maybe a little ahead of the game. I don't know why we need to do this now.
Well, I think I don't know. I can't speak for anyone else, obviously. But I think that there's a desire on some people's parts to reassure the ownership that we're trying to do this. And I don't know, there may be a problem with how far we can go with this right now, but I think everybody would like to have that assurance. Maybe we can't do it all. I don't know. I thought that's what you were referring to.
Tracy?
And according to the process that we reviewed and the cost that we've all reviewed, the process will be about 5 to 6 weeks. So it was targeted at the end of August.
Mm-hmm.
We're not, according to what we've seen and what we just discussed about the PSA, that's, in my opinion, far between the date we're talking about. Right. So we just talked about something may take 60 to 90 days. We just talked about the finance. We just talked about permits. So to Chris's point, we're talking about a lot of what ifs, and we're like, owners are struggling right now. And there's been many conversations around, we've gone through the process. We've talked about what it would do for the owners. We talked about what it would do for the HOA. We went out and we've gotten the procedures and the costs and all those things, just to now say, well, we should wait. So I'm just trying to understand the rationale.
Tracy, can I propose an amendment that that the amendment includes a language that says pending the board's final approval before disbursement?
No,
No?
no.
Okay, the second rejects it. All right, can we move ahead then to the owners? Then I think, Tim, you had your hand up first.
Yes. Thank you, John. Tracy, I heard you say the disbursements were based on an $11 million evaluation.
From what the discussions have been with the board and conversations in the past,
Because
to hold back the approximately $4 million for potential expenses.
okay, I just as an owner, it would be nice to see some type. I have paperwork based on something you would put forth many months ago on various outcomes, but to see what that looks like in a breakdown of what that means. Because right now it's just I hear disbursement, but I don't know numbers. I don't know what it's based on. And also if that's a half, depending upon a possible sale, what is the, and I'm not trying to convolute things by saying if the sale falls through, then what does the second half of that disbursement look like if it goes to partition? But what, I guess, first and foremost, can the owners see a breakdown of what the disbursement will be based on an $11 million valuation that I heard you say?
Yes. So, Tim, in the last board meeting, I shared a document that I believe, Randy, correct me if I'm wrong, was posted up after the meeting that has a break. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was agreeing. It
Okay.
was.
Okay.
So I can find that on the website?
Yes.
Yes.
On the special announcements, it's one of the first items on the list.
Great, thank you.
And just let us know, Tim, if you have any other questions.
Well, I think I've muted. All right. So, John, your questions.
Yeah, so you can figure it out by looking at the bylaws and your ownership percentage and doing 11 million. I've thought about this. I've done research, and then I'll talk to Gil's question. I was against this, but considering the insurance is down to what it is, I'm not as worried about the risk. We are losing probably about 300,000 a year in interest that we would get had we left it in, but we'd still be getting over 100,000. When I looked at the mortgages and thought about that, even if that were to happen, it would be a very small loss for all of us. So I think that I can support this now. I mean, it's not my decision, but as an owner, I can support you all in what you're doing now in working through that. And then the other thing I would just say is I think we need to make sure that the accounting is right. I worry about that, and I trust y'all do that. But I think where Gil was going is you can't do anything really until December, but why don't you just make a motion like let's spend up to like 10,000 or so to do the preliminary research or what you need to do, and then make your decision later on because you may decide that maybe closer to zone, you may say it's 12 million, or you may say it's 11 million or 10 million. That way you can have all your information and do the final, but just spend some money so you can start your preliminary investigation and start the process and then make your final motion after that date. That's where I think Gil was going. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but to me that would be rational and still give owners a sense that you're moving forward with that. So that's it.
Okay, Sally.
As an
Randy.
owner, I would like to see my share, at least part of my share of the insurance money. We're not talking about the sale or the valuation of the building. We're talking about money that has been given to us by Landmark. And a lot of us would like to have some of that money now. if the sale does not go through, if we have no guarantee that this sale is going to go through. I know everyone's feeling very optimistic about it, but we have felt that way in the past as well. There's no assurance. How long are we going to have to wait until we get our share of the insurance money? I don't understand it. What is the problem with delaying? Thank you.
Thanks, Sally. Can we, Marianne?
Yes, I just wanted to make two statements. One is to clarify Sally's statement. I think Tim was under the impression we were talking about the value of the building, talking about distribution of the insurance money that is in the reserve account now. That is important to differentiate those two things. Secondly, I think it is very important that the board demonstrate that they are proceeding to disperse because it's in the best interest of everybody to get some money, but there are steps that will be taken. And at each step, there may be decision points, but you can't just keep talking about it as a possibility. We've got to know that it's definite. You are doing this. Thank you.
Thanks, Marianne. Any other comments? Seeing none, then I guess we'll call a question on the vote. All those in favor of the motion that Tracy made?
Reread it, please.
I would like to make a motion to move forward with the partial distribution of the landmark insurance funds with the consensus of approximately $11 million to owners minus any outstanding taxes, mortgages, or HOA fees.
Okay, all those in favor? Okay, 1, 2, 3. So it's 6. No votes? Abstentions? Okay, 6-0-1. Okay. Any other board members have any other business they want to bring up? If not, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I so move.
Jan moves, second. Second from Tracy. All those in favor of adjourning to executive session?
Yeah.
Okay.